What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. I know it's been a minute since we created this podcast, but it's 2024. It is beginning of February, and I was like, why not? Let's get back into it and start creating this podcast because, again, I really enjoy doing this. I'm kind of taking a little bit of time away from work and just focusing a little bit more onto the channel and creating more content for y'all. But today, I want to talk about a little bit of things that we all need. The one thing we all need in our life, which is money. And trying to figure out a way to make some extra money, right? Everyone's always trying to look at the side hustle. Everyone's trying to figure out the next way of making money, right? So 2 ways, 3 ways, 4 ways that I kind of found a way to, or technically 3 ways, but found a way to kind of make some cash, right? People are trying to figure out ways to make some passive income or just be able to make $50 to $100 a day, right? You know, if we think about it, $50 a day for 30 days, $1,500 extra in our pockets, you know, a month, right? Same thing if you do $100 a day, you can make close to $3,000 extra a month. So it just depends on what your goals are, how much you're trying to hustle, and what you're trying to do, right? So there's 2 ways that we came across. So first one I really want to talk about is Uber and Lyft, right? You can basically make $50 to $100 a day. And so what's it called? We were looking into this with me and one of my coworkers, and we were trying to figure out how you can make some extra money, right? So try and do the math of is it really worth it? Is Uber and Lyft really worth it? So just saying, I used to actually work for Uber Corporate back in a while. And again, it's a great platform, great company, stuff like that. But with COVID, got laid off. So it is what it is. But again, company is great. Everything's great. No issues, no beef or anything against them. But you can still make money using their platforms like Uber and Lyft, right? So if you work a normal 8 to 5, 9 to 5 job, great. You can still do this on the way to work and on your way home from work, right? You just spend 1-2 hours each time. And same thing, 1-2 hours on your way back home. And you can easily make $50 to $100 a day by just driving around your car, letting traffic die down, and on your way back. So one of my friends is actually doing it, and basically you can choose the direction where your end goal is. Like, for example, if you're leaving your house and you're headed to the office, you can choose your end destination to be your office, and you can set what time you want to get there, and it will literally give you rides on the way to your office and to get you there by that time. And again, you can also accept or decline rides, and basically it's a good way to make some extra cash, pay for your gas, pay for your tolls on your way and to and from work. And if anything you want to do on the weekends, go for it. So that's one of the ways. Second way that we're actually thinking of doing is doing Uber Fleet. Basically, it's $300 guaranteed a week that you get by giving one of your vehicles. If you have an extra vehicle, this is probably one of the best ways to do this, is giving that vehicle to as an Uber Fleet. Basically, someone who doesn't have a car can use your car and will pay you guaranteed $300 a week. But you are in charge of the maintenance, stuff like that. But you know, they take care of the gas, the tolls, and basically they just use your car so that way they can work for Uber or Lyft. But so forth. So that's one of the options we're actually looking at. We're looking at buying used Lexus IS or something like that. That way we can store into the Uber Fleet and, you know, just make some extra side income. So that's the other way. The third way is probably one of my favorite ways of what I'm actually working on right now is the car rental business. Basically, I have extra cars, and again, it just sits there. And as I go to my day-to-day work, again, as I'm trying to escape the corporate America, to be honest. But I'm trying to figure out this way, trying to make this grow, trying to make this grind. You're using one of the vehicles that you have, which is decent, nice, that people want to rent, right? So, and you rent it on Turo. So Turo is a great platform where you can actually promote your vehicle. I guess this is not a paid sponsor or anything like that. I just use the platform. I like it and so forth. I'm currently in the process of working on my website. I have a couple other cars that we're going to be putting on Turo, but I'm kind of saving it for my website. But right now I've been renting it out to people here and there. But one of the other vehicles that I do rent out is probably the Jeep, which is probably the most common vehicle to get rented out. I'm adding a couple more cars into the fleet for this purpose because I've been just testing the waters a little bit, right? So the most common vehicle that's rented out is a Tesla. And again, everyone just loves it. So I've been buying 2 more Teslas, and I'm going to be adding the Porsche 911, the Porsche Macan, and we have our Jeep on there as well. I'm trying to add on another car to the collection, add on to the fleet, either going to be either a Range or something like the Corvette, Chevy Corvette C8 or something like that. That's what I want to add on. Come on, my friends that are in this business, they have the C8, and it's been probably the most rented out car that on their platform. But I do want to just kind of share a little bit. But on Turo, they do take out his fees, but again, it is just extra money. Like for me, the cars are just sitting there. I don't get to drive it all the time. I drive it here and there when I can. Been going to the office back and forth, and it's not a vehicle that I take to the office because I'm just sitting in traffic, not really enjoying it. It's more like a weekend cars that I have to just drive around, go out for events, stuff like that. My day to day, I have my daily beater, and again, like, yeah, this has got a brand new motor in it through recall. Man, I've just been trying to let this car die. But again, it's been a really good car, which is my X5. Everyone always tells me why I don't get rid of it, and it's mainly because it's paid off, and like, you know, I bought it outright, and there's no issues with it. So why get rid of it, right? It's my beater. That's what I use on the daily, just get to and from places. But it's a fun car to drive. It's a V8. But back to Turo, the way to make money. The Turo, you can have different ways of way they take out their fees, right? So Turo has its own insurance, so you don't have to use your insurance while it's being rented out. You still have to have your own personal insurance, so when the car is back in your possession, of course. But Turo has this plan, which is what I'm using, the 75-25, where they take out 25% of all their fees with insurance and stuff like that, and you keep 75% of your rental. So, which is pretty cool, because I've already made a few grand off the Jeep already, which is really amazing. I've only been doing it for like a little over a month, and I've been doing it other ways, which is like trying to put it up with a couple of my friends, putting it up on a lot, and they get to go to the lot and just kind of book it that way. And I'm trying to get into with Turo and my website, just trying to have my own private lot, and that way it just be a little bit more automated. Turo has ways to automate this process. Again, you don't have to have the newest and latest and greatest. You can put whatever car you have. Like a lot of people are putting out like Nissans, Altimas, Toyota Camrys, minivans, SUVs, whatever. We have a bright ass highlighter Jeep, and it catches people's attention. So a lot of people end up booking it. So the 911 is on there. The Macan's going to be up on there, and they're just going through some services right now. And I'm going to be adding the 2 Teslas up on that. So it'll be good. So these are some extra ways that you guys can make some extra cash using a car that you already have, a car that you don't usually use, or even if you only have one car, how to make some extra cash. Again, there are some rules of how you can basically to do something like this. So like if you're doing Uber or Uber Fleet, you have to have a car that's 07 or newer. On Turo, you could list any vehicle, but it has to be less than 140,000 miles, which my X5 also does not qualify for, because even though I put a brand new motor, it doesn't qualify because it still has like 150 something. I use this car to the fullest. But again, it is a risk with everything. I mean, everything's a risk, right? So I love cars. I've enjoyed cars. So I wanted to find a way that I can actually make money and have passive income with something that I truly love, right? So I've always want all these cars, want to enjoy these cars. But again, I don't want to keep paying for it, right? But I found a way that other people can pay for it while you still enjoy it, right? Same thing like the rental business or real estate business. It's like I've invested in properties and invested in cabins and stuff like that. Other people are renting it out. Other people are paying for it. But at the end of the day, we own it. So that's the way I'm kind of looking at it. And again, I don't know why I haven't thought about this sooner, but the problem is you cannot be attached to these vehicles. That's one of the biggest problems. You have to be able to have a vehicle that you're okay with, just for other people, just be driving it, having fun, whatever, right? Again, for me, a car is a car. I enjoy it. I have my personal prized possessions that I do not rent out, or I physically cannot rent out. The other cars like the Jeep, 911s, the Macan, all that stuff, the Range. We're working on getting an Escalade and plus the 2 Teslas. So I'm looking at these vehicles and possibly the C8. These are cars that, like, yes, I'll enjoy it, I'll have fun with it, I'll create content with it, I'll show you guys. But at the same time, it's a car that I'm okay with. Like, if it goes, it goes. Like, again, it's nothing crazy. Am trying to see if we can partner in with some wedding venues, so that way we can be like, hey, I have these fleet of cars. If you're bride and groom actually need like cars or anything like that, here's a list of cars, and people can rent from. Again, there's multiple companies out there like this that do this, but again, you just got to find yourself a little bit different, right? So again, these are ways that you can still make money on it. And honestly, if you have a spare car that you don't drive much, just put it up on Turo. Just test the waters to see what happens. Just put minimum what you feel comfortable with getting. Again, don't be too greedy at first. Set the bar a little low. Build your relationships, get few reviews, and then try to bump up the price. You know what you could do. Again, there's an off season and the season where people actually rent cars. The one thing I really liked about Turo is you can actually, when people book it, the benefit is like when people book cars, they know and they know exactly what they are getting. When you go out to Enterprise, Hertz, all these other rental companies, again, nothing against them, but at the same time, you get what you get. You can't pick and choose what you want. Sometimes you could upgrade, but again, that's a little bit more expensive. Like last time you went to, what was it? We went to Catalina Island, and I wanted a full-size SUV that fit 7 people, but we just got some Toyota RAV or some Highlander, something like that. But again, it wasn't enough for us, and we actually originally wanted the Suburban, and we had to pay additional few $100 just to get the Suburban. But again, it was fun. We enjoyed it. And again, but at the same time, I wanted to pick, if I was able to pick and choose, it would be more worth it without having the hassle going and like not getting what you exactly want, right? So a Turo that has the benefit is that you pick and choose what you want, and you have the convenience of like if people deliver your stuff. Like, so a lot of people worry about like, oh, what if they don't bring the car back or anything like that? There are other ways for that process, right? So most of these new cars, they have the tracking and everything on it. So like you can unlock your car from your phone. You can see where the location is of the vehicle. So that's what I've been kind of doing. We had this 2023, started off with that just to test the waters. Something happened to that vehicle, I really didn't care, and we get something different. So for example, like the 2023 Jeep, you can lock it, unlock it, remote start, and see its location. And with that, felt comfortable. There are other tools you could use. Like Samsara has like the tracking that you can plug into the car. There's other trackers, stuff like that. But again, you do want to advise on your listing that the vehicles are monitored and tracked. So for me, with the Jeep, I always recommend this. I always tell people in the nose, like no off-roading in the Jeep, of course, or you'll be charged. And when people deliver the car late after, so there's like 30-minute grace period from the time of delivery. If they come anything after that 30 minutes, you can charge late fees. So, and plus they pay for your tolls. And same thing, if you can charge them convenience fee if they don't fill up the gas how you originally left it, then you can charge them convenience fee for the fuel plus the convenience of you going to refill it yourself. So there are additional ways that you can make money off of Turo and stuff like that. So something to consider. It is actually a really cool platform. I'm trying to, like I said, with the Jeep, it's just Jeep alone, I've already made probably $3,000 off of it within the last month. So again, this is the way that it's making passive income. And again, it's just a vehicle that just sits there that I really don't drive that much unless we go out to the trails. But I do highly suggest, if you do have extra vehicles or if you have a spare vehicle, just test the waters with that and just kind of see what happens, right? Again, there's always you have your own insurance, plus Turos has its own insurance that when people rent out the vehicle. And again, everything has been fine. Haven't had any issues, knock on wood, of course. Again, there's always that chance, right? So what my friend is doing, he has everything very automated. Again, you can schedule out automated messages for pickup, drop-offs, returns, stuff like that. If you guys want to see more in-depth details of that stuff, I can share that with you. But again, there's multiple ways that you can make some money with just having a car. You can do Uber, Lyft, Uber Fleet, or Turo. Again, I'm working on my personal website just to get that stuff situated so I can consolidate everything and be able to professionally show it to like wedding venues and stuff like that. So that way just have certain clienteles. But again, if you have any more questions or if you want to know a little bit more in depth about it, comment below. Let me know what you guys think. we're going to be doing a giveaway here soon. So comment below if you have any questions or anything like that. But stay tuned for the giveaway that we're going to be doing, and stay tuned for future podcasts. And again, if you have any questions or if you want to know a little bit more in details about this, comment below, and we will see you guys in the next podcast. See ya.